Time.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast. I'm Ricky Chabruggi, and my co-host Ashley Duff's with me again tonight. How you doing, Ashley?
Hey, I'm great. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. Got some warm weather out there, and
I know.
nothing severe out there today. That's good.
Yeah. Did you guys get rain last night?
Yeah, we did.
Really? They weren't forecasting
Yep.
it here at all, and we were driving home and just got poured on and had to really slow down. Couldn't see anything, so it got kind of crazy for a while, but weren't expecting anything at all.
No, I went out to walk the dog last night, and I got to the door and I saw the rain. I'm like, oh, gotta go get a jacket.
Yep.
So I gotta keep a hood up on there to keep my hearing aids dry. So
there you go.
Yes, I wear hearing aids.
No shame in that.
No
shame. Yeah. So, did you guys have a good weekend? How are the girls?
Doing good. They're
Good.
actually here tonight with me. They spent the night last night, and they're hanging with me today. And
hey, Thomas. Hey, y'all. Pam, share to our local scanner page.
Awesome. Thank you, Pam. Appreciate that. Greatly appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. Should we get right into it?
Sure.
All right. The first one up is Anthony Patrick Cinescoli. He's missing actually from here in my hometown of Salina, Kansas. He went missing on August 17th, 1987. He was 36 at the time of his disappearance. He would now be 69. He was 5'9", 160 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. His wife saw him driving east on his way home from work at Beechcraft Corporation here in Salina, which is no longer open business. She followed him to the park. He stopped near the restrooms and spoke to her. He was surprised to see her and told her he was not feeling well. She tried to convince him to let her take him home, and he said no. So she left to go get help from her brother to help get him home. And when they got back to the park, his car was still there, parked by the restrooms. It was locked with all of his belongings inside, but he was gone. And he did not go back to work the next day, and he's never been heard from again. His social security number, credit card, and bank accounts have not been used, and he's not contacted anybody in his family. He was devoted to his two children, and it's uncharacteristic of him to leave without warning. He was originally from New York, where his parents, who were Italian immigrants, live. He had been living in Salina for about 9 years prior to his disappearance. His family fears that he became homeless. They distributed missing persons flyers in New York and Florida, where his sister lived, but he's never been found. His case does remain unsolved. If you have any information regarding Anthony's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, you can call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210. or the KBI at 785-296-4017.
Gosh, we really need to get
occasion or two.
Need to get this
What was
case
that?
solved. Need to get some closure brought. Need to get this case solved. This
Definitely.
is a very old case. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had an occasion to speak with his wife a couple times, and I've met her in person once. I'd happened to go into Wendy's here in town over on Ohio, and she saw my name. I can't remember what I was wearing that had my name. I think it was, I handed her a debit card. I think it had my name on it. And she asked me if I recognized her, and I said, no. She said, well, I'm Vicky Cinescoli. I'm Anthony's wife. I was like, oh, okay. And so nice to meet you. And we talked for a little bit and stuff like that. And we message occasionally on Facebook. I talked to her this afternoon a little bit. And she was really grateful that we were airing Anthony's case. And she's really hoping that it'll get some things stirred up. So hopefully we can get some new information generated.
Yeah.
So if anybody has any, I know it's been a long time, but if anybody remembers anything from that day, please don't hesitate to call it in.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Message Ricky's page, my search group page. Yeah. Anybody.
Yeah, definitely.
Be great. Yep. That's.
I'd be glad to pass it on for you if you don't want to call, police or whatever. We'll be glad to send it for you. We'll keep you anonymous if you want to be kept anonymous.
Yep. Do they have children?
Yes, they did have children.
Okay.
I believe I think on the flyer it said 2. Let's see. I was just reading that. Yeah, 2 children.
Okay, that's what okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's too
That's-
bad. We need to get that one solved.
Definitely. All right. Moving on to our next case.
Okay, Ashley Brown went missing from Wichita, Kansas on June 19th of this year. She is 13 years old. She is 5'6", weighs approximately 120 pounds. She has brown hair and brown eyes. If you have any information, please call Wichita Police Department at 316-660-9456, 316-660-9478, or 316-268-4111, or KBI at 785-296-4017. And Ashley is she is a missing and endangered runaway. So Ashley, we hope that you're safe and sound out there. Whatever the circumstances are, it doesn't matter. We don't care. There's no judgment here. We just want you safe. So reach out to someone, and if you need a ride somewhere, if you need anything, just reach out to one of us or call one of the phone numbers. We just want you safe.
No, and if you don't feel safe, if you don't feel safe doing that, there's always the National Runaway Hotline, the 1-800-runaway.org, yes. And that's also their phone number, 1-800-RUNAWAY, and they'll be glad to help you out as well.
Absolutely. So, yep, I know it might seem like, getting away from, the current situation and going to a different one might sound like fun, seem like fun, what have you. But we just want to make sure that you're not putting yourself in danger. And so just please reach out and let someone know you're okay. Like I said, if you need a ride somewhere, just reach out. We'll come and get you.
Definitely.
We're safe ones, I promise.
Yes, absolutely. All right. And who is next up?
Well, we have a special guest joining us tonight. We have Bruce Butler, which is Brian Butler's brother. Hey, Bruce.
Hey, good evening.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So, Bruce, I can't even imagine the nightmare that you're going through right now, you and your family. Can you tell us what it's been like for you guys?
I roller coaster. I mean, the emotions have been all over the place, up and down, for the last, about a week now since we found out. Mm-hmm. So we've kind of run the gamut of everything, trying to figure out, especially because we have no clear direction to go with anything. It's one thing if you know something, then you can feel a little different about that. But when you don't know anything and any of the options are open, everything's on the table, nothing's off the table. So you don't know. You're mad, you're upset, you're sad, you're all kinds of things. So and then you get back to kind of neutral, where you just kind of okay. And then you start thinking about it, then the emotions flare up again. So it's tough. It's not easy. You see shows and you hear about this stuff, but you never have any idea until you're living it. And boy, I don't wish it on anybody.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm so sorry, for what y'all are going through, and whatever anybody can do to help bring Brian home safe and sound, we'll be right there to help.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
Can you catch us up on where things are at right now?
Well, basically, we are, I would say, square one, but actually we're not even there yet, because when we found out about it, it was already 4 days late. So we were 4 days, behind already from when we found out about it. Because the last contact was on Thursday, June 11th, and that was when I was texting him that night. And as far as we know, we have his phone and everything, and they got through his phone, went through it, and I was the last contact he had made. And then the neighbor noticed that his mail was piling up and newspapers are piling up, and And on Tuesday, so he called the landlord, and they got the police involved, and they did a wellness check, and he was not there. His car was there. Everything was there. Everything he loved and cherished was right there. The doors were locked. No sign of break-in or a struggle or anything, and he was just gone. And that's basically where we're at. And they chased down every lead, everything that they had in that next 24 hours, basically, and come up with zeros.
Wow.
So Bruce, is it like Brian to just lock things up and walk away?
No, he's very routine. He's very frugal. He lived a pretty minimalist lifestyle. He lived in this duplex for 25 years there in Wichita, and his neighbor next door to him lived there about 20 years. And he had a pretty, strict routine. He'd go work out and he'd ride his bike, go to work. He, didn't spend a lot of money. He did a lot of the blues bands, go to the bars, watch the blues. He has a big friendship circle of the blues buddies with, going to the blues concerts and blues festivals and stuff. And everybody's just scratching their heads because we're just like, this is not normal. You would never think of something like this. So, he's been unemployed for a while. You got last September, and then unemployment, and then you got the shutdown going on and all that through the winter. So, that was mentally challenging at that time. But he just got a new job and has been there like 3 weeks, and evidently he got fired from that job that Thursday morning.
Oh, wow.
And he did not mention it to me when he texted me, or we were texting. He said nothing about it, so I didn't know anything about it. But I don't think that was a catalyst for anything, because he's mentally tougher than that, and it wasn't the end of the world, and he wasn't at the end of his ropes, I know, but I don't know. Anything's possible right now.
Right.
Did anything seem off that night when you were texting him?
No, we just texted. My son lives in Wichita, and he's having trouble with his car, so I texted Brian to find out if he had a trusted service place, we could take the car to, and he texted me back around 9 o'clock that night and said, "You give me a place over on the west side," and then I got back on with my son and didn't get back to Brian. But we do that a lot. We text, and we may not text for 2 or 3 weeks or a month. Right. Then also if we have a question, we text or whatever. So nothing unusual to me. And just thank goodness his neighbor was conscious enough to pay attention and do something, or it could have been another week or two. I would have texted him or called and he didn't answer, then I would have been doing it, but then we would have been 2 or 3 weeks behind. Mm-hmm. So, because he lived by himself, he was not married, no kids. So,
okay. So what has the response from the police department been? How has that been for you?
That's been excellent. Fortunately for us, my nephew was on the police department as a detective on there, and I gave him a call as soon as I found out that Wednesday morning and said, "Hey, go pull this case and check on Uncle Brian." And he did, and then he got it to the other detectives because it's family, so he can't be really that involved in it directly or in lead of the case for that reason. But he has some favors. They had everybody they could for that next 2 days, basically on that case, and they chased down every lead, talked to everybody, talked to every neighbor they could. They compressed a lot of work down into 2 days, basically, and tried to come up with something, and it's nothing. And they're kind of puzzled. We're puzzled. Usually you have something to go off of. A little piece of evidence or something pointing you one direction or another. Because I don't know. I guess there's, something like this, there's usually only 3 or 4 outcomes. It's going to be one of those options. And they didn't have anything to take any one of those out or pursue one more than the other. So we were just sitting here at 0.
Right.
And it's frustrating, and we have no idea where to go or what to,
Now, you were mentioning he goes to blues festivals and things like that. What were some of the other kind of places that he frequented?
No, we do go to some sports events, WSU and stuff, but pretty much that was it. He'd go down to the blues bars and one of the blues bands and stuff, and we would get together 4 or 5 times a year and go to a blues concert or a blues festival. And then, so last time I saw him was in March. My son was moving. He came down, helped us move in March, and then I saw him at Christmas time last year. And those are the last 2 times I saw him in person. So, but it's one of those things, you never know. It's who'd ever thought. We do this every year for decades. See each other, and the next thing you never know, and there is not another tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Does Brian have real close friends?
No, he has he has a lot of friends, but I wouldn't say like no real close friends. Other than I think his neighbor, because they've lived together or next door to each other for 20 years in a duplex.
Yeah.
So, and they kind of look after each other's place and kind of thing. But other than that, he really hadn't any real close friends, but he has a lot of friends when he goes out to these blues concerts and festivals and stuff, because all those people know him, and they're all helping with the poster hanging, and they've set up a Facebook page called Finding Brian Butler.
Right.
So
now, I was reading something on there, and I don't know if this is a rumor or what, but I read something to the effect of that at one point Brian had told someone that if he ever lost his job, that he would leave, just like go somewhere for a little bit. Is that, do you know anything about that?
yes, I'm aware of that, and that has not proven to be accurate.
Okay, that's why I wanted to ask.
That was information that was got out. It was not even. It hadn't been vetted yet, authenticated.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And the person who had originally put that out, it was interviewed by the detectives. So, yeah.
Okay.
But anything is possible, but that there was not accurate information.
Right. Does Brian like to travel anywhere?
Well, he used to. He hadn't done a whole lot lately, just because it's been, shut down with it, and then he's unemployed and all that stuff. But yeah, so he really hasn't been a traveling guy. I wouldn't say no.
Okay. When he would travel in the past, would he frequent the same places, or would he just pick different destinations to go see?
I don't know when the last time he actually went on a vacation. I mean, he's very frugal. He didn't like to spend a lot of money. Most of his time and money was spent going to blues festivals around the state and stuff, and that's where he spent his time and money, and on his biking. So I don't, he hasn't gone on a, I'd say he used to like to go to the mountains, but that was years ago.
Sure.
Right.
Understand. Now, is Brian is he very like assertive guy? Is he what's the word I'm looking for? It's right on the tip of my tongue.
He's outgoing. I mean, he's a talker.
That was the word I was looking for.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He'll talk your leg off.
Really?
Oh yeah. He talk to people. He go up to, the blues festival and all those places, and people know him because he go up and talk to them and talk to the artists and stuff. So, he's friendly, personable type person, he's the kind of guy, you ask him what time it is, and next thing you know how to build a watch.
Nice.
This kind of guy. So yeah, he liked to talk. He had the gift of gab.
Now you were mentioning that he likes to go biking. Was his bike still at the house too, or did he take that with him?
Nope, everything he loved and cherished was in that house still.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, he'd go out, and he didn't bike with a group, or he'd go out by himself. And usually, I think out south of town, probably around Rose Hill area out there. And it was not uncommon for him to go out and do 100-mile rides.
Oh wow!
Nice. Wow.
Yeah, he usually do on the weekends. Saturday, Sunday mornings, get out. If the weather's nice, go ride. Yeah. That was his therapy, and that was his exercise, and he's healthy. He was fit.
Wow.
I mean, he didn't really have any vices, I mean, he would drink maybe a little bit once in a while, but no, he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, doesn't do any drugs or anything that I'm aware of, but he can't because of his lifestyle. He goes to the gym and swims and rides bike 100 miles. You can't do those things if you're all messed up with your body and drugs and alcohol.
No, you cannot. No,
he was a fitness nut, and it had to because that was his health insurance. Basically, was his health. So that's why a lot of stuff doesn't add up.
Yeah.
So what was there? Did you guys notice anything at all missing from his house? I
have not been in his house yet. The police haven't allowed me in there yet. They think maybe next week. Okay. But there's some things they know that I don't know that is still out there. Right. So, and they want to keep that as it is for now in case something directs them one way or another. They don't want any disturbance in there yet.
Yep.
So as of right now, we can't get in there next week. And I'd like to get in and look and see if I see anything that they can't see. It may be sitting right there in front of them, but they don't realize it's there that I might see.
Correct.
You know, like which shoes are gone or which hats are gone or things of that
Right.
sort.
Right.
But so at this point, I don't know. Other than that, what they've told me that his wallet and his phone were left inside the house. Doors are locked, cars in the driveway, bicycles in there, and his cat was left outside.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So, which is totally
And the cat,
out of character for him because he loved that cat. He just took his cat to the vet a few days before that.
okay. So,
So-
he typically kept the cat in the house.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So, you know, a lot of things don't add up and they start pointing one way, then there's something that just kick you out of that one because that doesn't fit in there either. So nothing totally fits any of those scenarios of what it could be.
Well, hopefully he didn't meet with anything bad.
Yeah, I know. You don't want to think that, but that's one of the certain things that you know, there's only 4 outcomes I can think of. You know, there's the death, obviously, which would be either a homicide, you know, either by a premeditated one or a victim of opportunity.
Right.
And if you think it's a victim of opportunity, well, that'd be kind of sloppy or emotional thing, and then we would probably find a body or evidence of something like that. Or then there's suicide, which, you know, the other death. Well, okay, usually there's a note or something, or we would probably find a body or something at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a runaway, or he just opted out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's possible too. I mean, there's everything, but wouldn't leave his cat behind. All this stuff, you know, what's the plan, you know, to get out of there? You can walk out of Wichita because they checked everything. It did no Uber, no Lyft, no bus, no flights, none of that stuff. So, and nothing's been done with his bank accounts.
I was just going to ask you that.
Yeah, well, I listened to that first guy you were talking about, and I said, oh, this is eerie. This sounds almost similar.
Mhm.
It's almost into thin air, you know, nothing's been touched.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So
Bruce,
it's just...
go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's a mess. We don't know. You know, right now I'm kind of back to kind of just neutral, trying to get through here again. But the emotions come and go, and
Yeah.
you know, I can think, gosh, you know, the worst thing is we never know and never have an answer. And I feel for any family that, and like the first gentleman, you know, they just never have an answer. And boy, that's
Right.
kind of like, I think the worst thing you could have. You know,
Definitely.
even if it's death, and we need to know that if he's, you know, just let us know one of those things so we can deal with it and, you know, adjust our lives to however we need to.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But hopefully it's a good ending, good hope somewhere that he does come back, he is found, and
All right.
give him a hug and then smack him.
Yeah.
Ah, there you go. That's right. Now, Bruce, are you? I know that you said earlier that that you and Brian were texting the night before, and that sometimes you guys would go for a little bit without some communication. But I'm assuming that y'all are pretty close, right?
Yeah, we're close. We're not super close, but we're the closest probably in our family of siblings in there. So we go to over the years we go to a lot of blues places together, blues concerts, blues festivals together. He comes up to our family Christmas every year. So yeah, and then we text off and on. We share blues videos back and forth or questions and stuff. But it's not uncommon. We may go, I don't know, maybe a month or a little more sometimes without communicating. Just, we're busy with lives. He's busy. I'm busy with my stuff. And you never think about that stuff,
Right.
and until you don't. Everything's fine until it isn't. And then, then you got the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. And that's a hard feeling to have.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got to fight that off. You got to fight off that guilt of I shoulda, I coulda, woulda. I mean, that's always be there. That will always be there if you don't have an answer, and that's another thing that sucks.
Right.
Yeah.
I just want to come and give you a great big hug. I'm a hugger, so I just want to hug you right now.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm so sorry, for what y'all are going through. The whole family. Now, does Brian have any children?
No, he's single.
Okay.
That's another thing that makes it harder because there's nobody really close to say, oh, I just saw him. He left to go get something or whatever and disappeared. We don't have that.
Right.
Time we found out, it was already 4 days. Whatever it is, it was a 4-day head start before we even knew he was gone.
Right.
So, that first, they say, I guess, from watching the crime dramas and stuff, the first 24, 48 is critical.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, our first 24, 48 was already 72 later.
Right.
So, and that made it even harder. But even still, we had access to everything, and there's no clues to anything. That's what's just so that we know of, unless I get in there where I can look around and maybe I see something. But they went through everything, so there's just, I know they did, and hopefully somebody somewhere knows something and keeping the name out, keeping his picture out there, and like all the other cases out there that they just hope somebody sees something or says something, and we can get an end to this one way or another.
Yeah.
Hopefully in a good way, the best way.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'll get his flyer bumped back up to the top of the page. So, after the show this evening, I'll get it bumped back up again.
Yeah, and it's on my search group page as well, and we'll keep doing the same, Bruce.
Well, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Our family appreciates it.
Yeah. Do you know if police have had a chance to? Go ahead, Ashley.
Oh, sorry. How is the entire family holding up? That might seem like a silly question, but I can only assume. But how is the whole family holding up?
They're going through the whole gamut of emotions. Also, I have a brother in Colorado and one out in Kansas City and a sister in Garden City. So both our parents have passed. So we're all just grasping for straws, trying to make sense of it, and nobody has any answers or anything to help point in any direction. So we're at a standstill for the most part, as far as evidence goes.
Right.
So it's frustrating, emotional, gut wrenching. You're mad, you're sad, and everything in between. It's not fun. They don't get a lot of sleep at all. You wake up and your mind just automatically start thinking of things like, okay, and could it be this, could it be that, or you do this, or and you drive yourself crazy. And my wife and I tried not to talk about it on Sunday, Father's Day, and it didn't work. We went out to lunch and we realized we're sitting there staring at each other, and she goes, "Are you thinking?" I said, "Yeah, I'm thinking about it."
Yeah.
So,
well, of course. Yeah. Now, are your guys' parents still living?
No, they passed. They have passed. Okay. Mom passed 2 years ago, and Dad passed back in 2007. So.
Okay.
And I'm the youngest of the family.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yep.
Do you know if police have had an opportunity to check with neighbors' surveillance cameras or anything to see if
the detectives went to all his neighbors on his block.
Oh, wow.
And they hit everything. We were fortunate, like I said, my nephew being a detective there. Mm-hmm. I mean, he wasn't in charge of the case for obvious reasons, but he was able to pull some favors in, and they put a lot of manpower on that first 2 days actually. And they compressed probably 3 months of work into 1 or 2 days.
That's good.
In a lot of cases, and I feel sad saying this, a lot of cases don't get that much attention that quick.
No, they don't. On that. A lot of times you hear law enforcement say, well, they're an adult, they can be missing if they want to.
Yes, and we got that as well.
Did you?
But yeah, they told us that they have the right to walk away, but circumstances and what they saw there and being when it was already gone 4 days since last contact.
Yeah.
So that put him, and knowing Brian has such strict routines and knowing this is way out of character.
Yeah.
Not something that, if he took off all the time and stuff for a day or two or things like that, then okay. But that's not him. This is not him at all. He is by his schedule. He's very meticulous, and he's on time guy. Almost to I always give him a hard time about being so anal on things, but now I feel bad about that. But because I'm not quite that way, and we're a little bit opposite in those things. But yeah, so he was pretty routine, religious on his things. He had to get his biking in. He'd go get his workout in. And he'd worry about his cat when he came up and stayed with us for the weekend. He had to get back and make sure his cat was taken care of and get his bike ride in. That was his schedule. That was his life. So this is way out of character for him.
Yeah.
Any possibility that? Oh, I mean, it's always a possibility. But I wonder if he, bought a new bike, a different bike, and just.
That's possible. That we don't know. The two bikes that I know that he had were still there, and he just got a newer one not real long ago, and that one was still there.
Okay.
And he had saved up to get that bike. His old bike he had since college back in the 80s. That's how frugal he is. He just replaced parts on it. And he shopped around and waited till he found this right model at the right price and finally got it. So he's not one to go out and just go buy a new bike or splurge on anything. That's just not his style. He just doesn't, he's not a spender.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, oh, sorry, Bruce. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. Go ahead.
So you've been on the news a bit. Has that generated any leads that you know of?
No, I don't. I've not heard anything from that. We did. I think we got a couple going out door to door last night. Maybe we got one lady. Pretty sure she had a security camera, and she's pretty sure she thought she saw him. She was going to check the timestamp on it, and if it was after June 11th, she was going to call. But evidently, it must not have been because nobody has called about it. So, or it wasn't him on her camera.
Right.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, we just don't know.
Anything else that you want to add in here? Anything else you want to say?
Boy, there's a lot of things I like to say. I don't, wish I had a direction to tell people to go look or do, but I just don't. I'm just grasping for straws. It's kind of as well as the whole family and the friends are, it's just, you don't even know where to go start down in Wichita, where if you want to go look and say, okay, well, where do we go? I mean, there's so many places down there to go. Where do you start looking? And it's just, I don't know. I wish I had something. I had something smart to say, but I don't because I just my brain's about half dead too. I've been running on caffeine for about a week now.
I can't even imagine. I can't imagine. Yeah.
Well, I wish he was back. He just turned 63 last Friday too, and that's that was just bad icing on the cake, so to speak. Right on his birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
we're hoping for good things too.
Yep, but out there, have faith. We got that's all you got right now. We got hope and faith, but time and distance is our enemy.
Right.
And this is, I think with all these cases, I mean, you guys probably know more than I do, but the longer it goes, the further away you get from that initial date, the tougher it is to find clues and to find evidence or anything of, and for a good ending too, I think. But I don't want to dwell on that.
Right.
So until I have to, we'll deal with that bridge when it's there. For now, we're going to hope and have faith and hopefully somebody somewhere has something. We'll see him or whatever, and we'll make a call.
Absolutely. We are, of course, thinking nothing but positive thoughts, Bruce, and we really appreciate you being on the show, to get your brother's name and face out there even more. And if you want to, we're going to run through his flyer here. If you want to hang out with us a little bit longer, you're more than welcome. If you, just want to.
Sure. No, go right ahead. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for doing this. I didn't even, obviously I wasn't aware you were out there, and I wish I didn't have to know you were out there, but thank you for doing what you're doing. And
you're welcome.
Yeah.
You're helping.
And we really never.
I said, thank you for your helping families, helping our family, helping other families, even if they're, regardless of the outcome, it just helps getting out there and talking and helping other people. Because we're getting so much love and appreciation and kind thoughts and warm wishes from people out there, and that's helps, and it's helped keeps us cheered up and focused and gives us hope. So thank you.
You're very welcome. When you're ready, please keep in touch with us. And if if you guys get any tips or leads, and if the detectives or WPD needs help with any searches, please tell them to reach out to my search group. It's Missing in Kansas, Megan's Voice. That's what we do. So if, a lot of times they just don't, maybe they get a tip or a lead and they don't have a ton of time or a ton of people to go. So they can, a lot of times they'll call us in for backup, for help. So we're here if you guys think of anything or need assistance in searching.
Yeah. Also, what I'm thinking about, I want to thank a huge thank you to the Wichita Police Department detective, because they really busted a rear on this and doing everything they can to find Brian. And like I told my nephew, and I realized that they're a city function and they got limited resources. Mm-hmm. And as time goes on, they're going to have other people are going to go missing. They're going to have other things to go do. And that's where the boots on the ground or other people, friends and family have to try and, as you guys know, pick up that slack and take up the carry the flag, the torch, and
it's a joint effort. It's a joint effort by all. So, yep.
Yeah. And any tips anybody has, call the police department. Call Wichita Police first. They need that information. Don't post it in the public domain because things get misinterpreted or twisted. They have all the pieces to the puzzle. They have the picture, and they need to see those pieces first so they can see where they're going to fit and go. And then if they need help going out after something, they will contact me or whatever, and then I will get it out to everybody and say, here, let's go do this or whatever. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we get stuff getting thrown out there before it's been, vetted per se, and then it causes issues and it creates a setback in the investigation and things. So
you're very correct. I've had that happen in a couple of my cases in the past. So
yeah, and sometimes it's unintentional. I mean, sometimes the police themselves do it, but they're just human and they absolutely say something they shouldn't, and they realize that they shouldn't have said that, and it gets out there. So we have to be conscious of out there. But it's it's an experience I didn't want to. I'm learning this experience I didn't want to learn. To tell you the truth, that's nobody. I don't wish this on anybody, and I wish I didn't have to go through this. And my heart's for anybody else that's going through this. So,
right. And again, our heart just reaches out to you and the whole family, and we hope that maybe Brian just needed a little break and wanted to just get away for a little bit, and Brian, if you are watching, or if you have anybody that is watching that knows you or that is with you, then, please just reach out to someone and let us know that you're safe and sound. We're going to go ahead and run through Brian's flyer right now. Bruce, again, you're welcome to hang out if you would like.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. All right. Brian Butler went missing on June 9th, 2020. Brian just turned 63 years old. Brian is 5'8", weighs approximately 125 pounds. He has white hair and green eyes. Let's see. Brian was last seen at his home in the 2600 block of East Grail in Wichita. He is in good health, and he is missing under the circumstances, not conforming to his normal routine and habits. He may be in need of assistance or intervention. If you have any information about Brian's disappearance or any tips or leads, please call 911 immediately or Wichita PD at 316-268-4111 or KBI at 785-268-4017. You can also message Ricky's page. You can also message our search group page. We will get those tips, leads out to the appropriate people. So please, Brian, if you're out there, again, just let someone know that you're safe and sound. And Bruce, we really appreciate you coming on here. Please keep in touch with us. We'll be in touch with you as well. And of course, we would like people to go join Brian's Facebook page, join Finding Brian Butler on Facebook. And Bruce, again, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on there, and I appreciate the effort and work you guys are putting into for all the missing people out there, including my brother. So
absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
We're sorry you guys are in this position, but we'll do everything we possibly can to help.
Thank you. Yep. We will carry on. We will prevail one way or another on this. So we're not quitters. So we'll figure it out. I don't know when, but we're going to figure it out.
Yeah, that's right. You try to have a great rest of your evening, and we'll be in touch soon.
All right. Thank you. You do the same. Good evening.
Thank you.
Bruce.
And remember, no matter how small of a piece of information you may have regarding Brian's disappearance, call it in. It may be just what the investigators need to really, put the puzzle together and figure out what's going on.
I know that. Yeah, I don't know. Just it's concerning, of course. Like all of our cases, they are all concerning. But yeah, it's concerning just because this is out of his normal routine. So,
right.
Again, our hearts are with the Butler family.
Definitely.
And, we want to see Brian get home safe and sound. So.
Yeah, and like someone to bump his flyer back up to the top of the page after the show this evening. And I encourage everybody to just share it. And again, go to the Finding Brian Butler page and join that page.
Yes. Yeah. And, it takes a ton of courage for a family member to come on here, even if they already know what happened to their loved one, let alone right smack in the middle. So, Bruce really did a great job, and we really commend him for coming on. And I know that he's, had a ton of interviews, I'm sure. But, he just wants to keep Brian's face and name out there too. But I'm sure that is just an extremely difficult time for all of them. And, we invite anyone to come on the show and share their story with us. One of our new features, I guess, for the show, or a direction that we're trying to go, is we would like to have a guest on weekly. So if any family member, or it don't even have to have a family member that's missing, but if you want to come on the show and share your story with us, or if you have been missing in the past and you are now home safe and sound, we would love to talk to you and for you to share your story. If you have been a runaway in the past and you're, again, home safe and sound now, and, have, I guess, are just in a different position in your life, then we would really love to share your story if you're willing to.
Definitely.
Yep.
All right. Should we get back into cases now?
Yeah, we just want all these faces and names to stay out there so they're never forgotten. And just like I always say, everyone deserves to be brought home. So, All right.
And you want to go ahead and take this one?
Oh, sure, I can.
Okay.
You're giving me, I can't. Okay, how do you pronounce that?
Magdalena
Castro. Okay, Magdalena went missing out of Liberal, Kansas on June 3rd of this year. She is 14 years old. She is 4'6", weighs approximately 120 pounds. Magdalena has brown hair and brown eyes. If you have any information, please call Liberal, Kansas Police Department at 620-626-0141 or 620-626-0151 or KBI at 785-296-4017. And Magdalena, please, honey, if you're, watching or have a source that's watching, please just reach out to Ricky's page, Kansas Missing and Unsolved, to my search group page, Missing in Kansas, Megan's Voice. Please, we just want to help. If you need anything at all, just please reach out to us if you feel comfortable.
I've been following Liberal Police Department's post on Magdalena and reading through the comments and stuff, and people were wondering why it took a while for her to be reported missing, and some people were kind of getting on the parents a little bit. And then I read further and saw that somebody had commented that Magdalena's parents actually still live in Mexico, and she's living with an older sister over in Liberal. So that may have been why the delay. I don't know for sure, but I mean, apparently she lives with an older sister over there in Liberal.
Okay. Oh, shoot. Well, sweetie, just reach out and let someone know that you're okay.
Please do.
Okay.
Okay. And I think we have one more.
Okay.
And I believe it is Michael Aycock. And you want to get that one too?
Yes. Michael Aycock went missing from Walton, Kansas, May 30th, 2017. At the time of his disappearance, he was 42 years old. Michael would now be 45 years old. Michael is 5'10", weighs approximately 160 to 180 pounds. He does have black hair that is receding, and he has brown eyes. If you have any information, please call Harvey County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 316-284-6960 or KBI at 785-296-4017. This one has, it's a little different to me. So Michael, he left his residence to meet someone at a condemned home in Walton and has not been seen or heard from since. Drug deal gone bad. I don't know, but this case has always intrigued me quite a little bit, and I know that I believe the police did search this abandoned home. That's not fact. I don't know that for certain, but that's what I read somewhere. But again, I'm not sure if that's fact or not. I don't know, but I just, yeah. This case is, there's always some of those cases that just sit different with you than others, and this is one of those for me.
Right. And again, he was 42 when he went missing. He'd be 45 now. He's 5'10", weighs between 160 and 180. Black hair that's receding and brown eyes. He has a gray-black mustache and mostly gray beard and thick eyebrows. He has restricted movement of his left arm due to a car accident. He's also without his medication. He has a tattoo on his left bicep of barbed wire, a tattoo on his back left shoulder with the word "hot shot," and a tattoo on his forearm, unknown which one, of a skull with flames. And again, if you have any information regarding his disappearance or of his whereabouts, call the Harvey County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 316-284-6960 or KBI at 785-296-4017.
Yep. And you guys, I'm just going to warn you, my headset keeps telling me low battery. Apparently, I forgot to plug it in earlier. So, if you lose me, that's why.
Okay.
Yeah, and to all of the viewers, if you guys have any suggestions on cases for upcoming weeks, please put those in the comments. And I think the ones that comment a lot know that we get back to you guys pretty much right away. So,
and thank you, everybody. Go ahead.
Sorry, it's hard to not talk over each other. We both
I know.
Yeah. And let's see, we just want to thank Bruce Butler for coming on tonight and sharing his brother Brian's story. We really appreciate that. And again, we'll keep getting Brian's name and face out there. And anything else?
Just thank everybody for watching and tuning in and sharing the shows and getting them out there on other pages for let everybody know we're out here. And, we want to thank Bruce again for coming on. He did an amazing job under the circumstances. And remember, our next show will be a week from this Thursday, which is July 2nd. Mm-hmm. Yes, July 2nd. So at 8 o'clock. So stay tuned for that. And, again, follow Ashley's Facebook page, Missing in Kansas, Megan's Voice, and join the Finding Brian Butler page. And, as always, if you're not part of the Kansas Missing and Unsolved page yet, like that page, share that page as well. We appreciate everything you guys do for all of our pages.
Yes.
Anything in closing?
I don't think so. Anyway, trying to read and think at the same time. So, You know what? Everyone have a great night, and we really appreciate everyone's support. we appreciate your likes, your shares. We appreciate you watching here live with us. And even the ones that can't join us live, we appreciate you going back and watching. It takes all of us to keep these names and faces out there. And everyone have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next Thursday.
All right. Have a great night, guys.
Well, I don't think it, I thought it, that's different. I said what I said and I meant it, or lamented. Words given weight without thought, and a person the way that I talk, and the way that I ought to be able to pause and to say that the fault can be placed on my arm, to display for the salt, to disgrace in this arm, pray for the day they could wait for the calm. You can't control the storm, only weather it, whether it's 5 weeks and 5 days of rain sideways, or scorched earth, search for depth, or water left with all the thorns, with the petals gone, settle on the breath of autumn. If the crown fits, wear it, the crown fits. If the crown fits, wear it.